Okay, so let's hear from Malaysia now. Ben, do Nigerians there also think that interesting times are ahead, and the Tucano jets and the $500 million is going to make a difference to the economy?
Yeah, it's going to make a very big difference in the economy. And also, you have to look at what we are bringing on the table and what the United States are also bringing on the table. In terms of fighting terrorism, the United States has shown commitment. Donald Trump has shown his own commitment to support Nigeria in the fight against terrorism. And also, he has also made it possible for us to buy arms, unlike before, where the United States has placed an embargo on Nigeria and has also frustrated the effort of the past administration to buy arms. But now they have made their borders, they've made their country open, willing to sell arms to us and also to assist us in terms of intelligence sharing and also training our military personnel on how to combat crime. So it's a welcome development. But what I don't know is have our own share of the signature of the bilateral relationship that we do have now, because I know in terms of the United States, they have policies in place, they have institutions in place that will get their own share of the bargain. But I don't know if what we are also doing to get our own share of the bargain is going to be a win-win situation for all of us. But so far, the outing of Mr. President has been very good. I mean, and he has been very diplomatic in the way he answered. He answered a lot of questions, which a lot of us have been, waiting to. And because some of us were also anxious to know what he was going to say this time, because of what happened in his last outing in the UK, and all that. So, and he has been very diplomatic the way he answered questions. So, I have to give it up to Mr. President. He's done well so far.
All right, Ben, thank you so much. Well, like Ben said, Atiku, Nigerians were scared to say, oh, what else is going to come out of this? But obviously, it's been good news. But, you remember that when you talk about the jets, there's still controversy about the procedure, of the money being paid for the jets. So what do you make of this when you look at this aspect and, well, the applause that the president is getting from the agreement with the United States?
Well, I will come from I will always say two perspectives. I don't think it's all rosy. If you look at the agreement that was, of course, it has not been signed, but if you try to actually gauge half of what people are saying, it's actually divided, and typically Nigeria will be divided across two broad lines. Some people felt, and they feel, and they will continue to feel that the president actually did well. And then you have some other people that feel, well, if the essence of this travel, which will cost, of course, is costing Nigeria a lot of funds, is to go to United States, and then you actually need to cement. And we have to understand this. Number one, Nigeria do not have any sound trade agreement with the European Union because of the failure of the government to sign up to the EPA. That's the EPA itself. So definitely, virtually all African countries have most likely signed the EPA, except for Nigeria, some very few countries. So we don't necessarily have an agreement with the European Union. And we have to understand again, very few months ago, the president also grandstand signing the African Intercontinental Free Trade Agreement. So people were expecting that, oh, this would be a very good opportunity for the government to actually cement its way. Given that the policy of government has always been simple, number one, we will not allow things come into Nigeria the way it normally will flow in. We are going to actually restrict access to international goods, and then by default, we expand production internally. But if you listen to the president of the United States, he dropped a very big shell. He said the United States are looking at importing, that means exporting agricultural produce into Nigeria. That's a very big dent itself. And some analysts look at that, and then we have to understand that could actually put the job of about 24 million people in jeopardy. Now, that's on one side of the whole divide. The second side is this. Look at the end of what has been happened before the president came on board. The United States stopped importing, they stopped buying Nigerian crude. At that point, Nigeria was even literally hawking their crude on the IC, looking for who to buy. If you look at the trend last 2 years, which is positive, the United States have started picking up Nigerian crude. Again, that's good in one sense of it. I don't know how the president was able to do that. but we need to look at it from that perspective also, which is also good. But above all, if you try to put everything together and you look at this trip coming in, and then the president announcing some few days before the trip was announced that they actually went ahead to pay for those aircraft without authorization of the National Assembly. What will have happened if the trip, of course, the United States will definitely talk about it in public domain. So we felt that the president actually front-load the press with the information so that it will not boomerang on his head. But in reality, if we look closely at the Constitution, as a person, I feel that the president erred. Ideally, what you will have done is to actually seek approval from the National Assembly before embarking on such program.
Okay.
So really, if you look at the way he has managed the entire, I would call it how you manage the entire information, he has done well. But in terms of policy issues, there are still a lot of things to be addressed.
All right, Atiku. Just hold your thoughts there. Let's hear from Chude. I mean, I know that the presidency brought up the issue of necessity, which was why they had to fast track the payments, before going through.
Well, for planes that will be arriving in about 2 years' time,
2020.
in 2020. So where is the necessity? Where is the urgency? But even beyond that, again, I think those who have made comments, have spoken well, but the reality is that some of the indices, for instance, that Victor, talks about, fly against, what we all see in the country in terms of, the economic indices, in terms of the social issues that we're having in this country. The reality is that Nigerians are not happy. We find ourselves in a very critical situation, and there is a sense of fear, in the minds of the average Nigerian. The killings, that we're seeing every single day is escalating, moving from one state to the other state and so on, and it is spreading all over the country, and it is a cause for worry for those who are here in Nigeria. It should be a cause for worry for those who are also abroad. So these are the issues, perhaps, part of the reason why the president is also there. There are serious economic issues. The issue of corruption has not been, tackled. Transparency International, for instance, not too long ago, talked about Nigeria's rating, which is in the negative and has fallen and all of that. And so some of these are some of the issues that are being confronted today. The economy is in a very terrible state and all of that. So the indices that he talks about do not exist. In reality, we must say it as it is. But that is not to say that government is not making efforts, but the efforts so far have not exactly translated to, something fantastic. Look at, for instance,
I think you should just hold your thoughts. We're going to take a break, then we'll come back, and then we'll conclude this discussion. Talk about the indices, talk about the factors, and especially the social factors in the country, some of which, of course, both presidents did talk about at the visit.